Welcome to the summary side. Kind of just sounds like funny. So, we're talking about the Pythagorean Theorem. Remember, this Pythagorean Theorem breaks out as the sum of the squares for the two legs of a right triangle equal the square of the hypotenuse. So, we can take any triangle we want and figure out a missing side. Label your sides. Whenever they do it, label them. It'll make your life easier. And the model says A plus B equals C. Remember, they kind of, short leg generally is A, long leg is B, but the hypotenuse is always C. It's always the longest side, never the shortest. So, when we look over here, we see that we've got our first example, C. We haven't labeled things here, and I like to label things because I'm like that. So A, B, C. So down here they apply it. They say A squared plus B squared equals C squared. They fill in the spots. They actually go through work. Remember, all we have to do once we get this is go the square root, because we're using calculators, of 3 squared plus 4 squared. And we put that in there, and then we hit enter, and we'll get our answer, and C will equal 5. Now, over here, they got the opposite solution. They got one where we're missing it. We're using that property of math, so we know we can flip things around. Since A squared plus B squared equals C squared, and we want A, so I'm going to write it over here. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. We're looking for A, so we need to move the B off that side, and to do that we subtract B squared from both sides. And we get A squared equals C squared minus B squared. And that's pretty much what they did here. They just kind of went a different route. I don't necessarily like to figure, I don't have to figure them out individually. So we'd have B squared, which is 12 inches, subtracted from C squared, which is 15 inches. When we type that in, because now what we do is square root that, we'd get 9. And it follows the rule, because this is still the longest side, this is short, this is in between. Alright, so let's do 2 problems, and let's work these problems all the way through. Okay, I'm going to use the space down below. So I've got A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Good. It's following in the right format. So A squared happens to be 8 squared minus B squared. I'm going to almost forgot, label my sides. 15 squared equals C squared. So I know that to do this, I would end up with square root of 8 squared minus 15 squared equals, and the square root of C squared is C. That just happens to be what it is. Equals C. So I get my calculator out. Yay for calculators. I turn my calculator on. I click this control, get my square root. I say 8 squared. What did I do there? I almost blew it there. Plus 15 squared. And I hit enter. And oh man, I really messed that up. I put 158. So let's try that again. 8 squared plus 15 squared, and I hit enter, and I get 17. So, and this is where I messed this up here. I don't know why I put a minus. This is what I get for working ahead of myself. So this would become 17 inches. Now check it out. 8 inches, 15 inches, 17 inches. C has got to be the longest side as the hypotenuse, and it stays true to that. So let's look at the one problem over here. This is one of those where we have a little different, but not much. We see that we're missing this side, and we know from doing it earlier that if we want A squared, it'll have to be A squared equals C squared minus B squared. So, and again, if we do our A, so our A equals, because we squared both sides, the square root of C squared, which is 26 squared, minus B squared, which is 24 squared. And I'm going to get the old calculator again. Punch it in. Let's see if I can do it right this time. 26, 24. 26 squared minus 24 squared, and hit enter. It says 10. Well, that would make sense. If it was 10, then that would be short leg, middle, a long leg, and then the hypotenuse is longer than both. So my answer is A equals 10 centimeters. All right, and just for the thing, just draw me a triangle here with a little, I don't know, little pair of eyeballs in it. How's that? Look, it's a triangle, dude. All right, so I hope that helped. If it didn't, come ask questions. Thanks.